What's up, guys? So this video has been in the works for a long time now because it's been slowly but surely accumulating a whole bunch of parts to completely transform the look of our 04 6-liter, and I think we finally have everything. So thanks to a combination of 06 and 64 parts paired with a whole bunch of color match, this thing is about to look absolutely gorgeous. But the first thing we got to do is get this thing in the shop and make sure everything fits. Got all of our parts laid out, ready to go. We'll go over them in just a little bit. I want to start at the rear of the truck and work our way forward. And I also have a question, because this is not the same generation, because this is a 10th gen F-150 and this is a 2nd gen Power Stroke, but they were made at the same time. I'm sure this bumper will fit on Larry. Do we think that that would be a nice little upgrade? Here's this one, and here's Larry's, which is also in really good condition. But would that be a nice upgrade? Should we swap it on there? I don't even know if it'll fit, but it just kind of crossed my mind. So anyways, let's go ahead and get that bumper off. All right, first thing we want to do is go ahead and disconnect all of our wires from our bumper. So we're going to pull this guy free, wiggle this guy loose, and then use our flathead, pop these little Christmas trees out. I really need to get one of those tools that fit around. I need to get a whole bunch of tools, to be honest. I see y'all in the comments. And trust me, the shop update, it's coming at some point whenever I, can make a full video on it once I get some things resolved. But for the time being, just know that it's been a nightmare. Let's go ahead and clip tag lights, just lay these guys out of the way. And I think that is everything. Now we got a 17 mil on the inside and a 3/4 on the outside. There we go. We got 4 Phillips head screws, take off the top. And then underneath the grill, you got a few tabs. Pry up on them and forward. Goodbye, old broken up, crusty grill. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull the front bumper off. If you have fog lights, disconnect those. Ours actually have the wires cut from, I guess, when the original turbo got replaced. And assuming that was a cab off kind of situation and that's what happened, they just either forgot about it and ripped the wires or just cut them because they were a bag of lazy bones. Either way, I think ours should just come straight off with the bumper. I guess we'll find out. But the first bolt we're gonna be going after is this guy right here. You're going to need an 11/16 and a 5/8. Up on the passenger side, down on the driver. Get this guy broke free and then we'll get it off from the outside. After taking a quick peek under here, it looks like we do have one thing still connected, our block heater. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this Christmas tree free and then we can get these front bolts out. Now we got 2 18 mils on each side, and that should be the only thing holding the bumper on now. All right, he's free. Hopefully not held on with any wires. Let's just carefully get this thing off. Oh yeah, let's go. Now we're gonna take our headlights out so we can replace this radiator shroud. If you saw the video where we did install these, which are 05, 06 headlights, they have a different design on the back, but you can actually cut the 03, 04 shrouds to fit these. However, the new grille, unlike the factory, which is mounted on top, actually has little holes in it right there where the new grille will clip into place. So we're gonna go ahead and swap that out. And I'm thinking about taking the DRL headlights out. Do we go back with just clears? I mean, I like them at sometimes, sometimes I like them, and then other times I'm like, they look a little cheese bally. So I don't know, let me know. Got a couple Phillips head screws on top. And then we got 2 7/32. This guy should come right out. Wire wires are hung. It's not great. Now we got at least 6 5/16s. Yeah, one right there. There we go. All right. This guy free. Bring it out. And this should come off that way. Now we're just held on. Our little crappy guy up here. There we go. Now that we got everything torn apart and I got a couple thumbnails, let's go ahead and go over everything that I went with. So for starters, with the rear bumper, this is for a 6.4, so the 08 to 2011? 10? I can't remember. 6.4 was a short-term truck, but I've always really liked this beefy looking bumper, and it's supposed to just bolt on. I did get brackets for everything, but we'll just have to see what does match up and what doesn't. Hopefully we have everything needed to get it on the truck, but we're gonna get the bumper itself and the plastics painted. That guy right there, the radiator shroud, that is for a 05-06 6-liter truck, which is supposed to fit this grill right here, which is kind of the generic. I'm not completely sold on it. Might end up going with a different grill, but this is like ready to paint. It's billet bar style. I've always liked that. I wish the little side ones were billet as well. Lower bumper is from a 05-06, so it's the second gen of the 6-liter, which looks so much cleaner to me. It's just nice and smooth. This is the cap for it to go on top. We've got a bunch of brackets. I got LED tag lights, which I'm gonna see if they fit on here. I think that's everything. We're also gonna take, I think, a few things off the truck as well to get painted. But as far as what we're actually swapping today, I think this is it. So I'm gonna sift through all the brackets, see if our factory ones will line up, the other bumpers in the back. See what lines up, see what I can figure out, and then we'll start throwing stuff back on the truck. Yeah, after we take those off, because I'm gonna forget. We got 3 15 mils to get the tow hooks off. So I don't think I got new brackets for the rear bumper. We're gonna try to transfer over the original ones. It is a 2-hole design on both, so hopefully it'll work. I'm gonna go ahead and swap it and then we'll try test fitting. Rear bumper is officially on. Had to do a couple of things to make it work, but she's on there, boys. It does sit a little bit higher over the hitch than the factory one. Why are you not focusing? So if that bugs you, then maybe the 6.4 hitch will fit more snug, but it's not like it's drooped down real far or anything. It's just a smidge bit lower, but thanks to it being painted, it looks just fine to me. So I've got it on there pretty dialed. This side needs to come up just a smidge, but that is all just fine tuning, which we don't have to do right now because it's obviously fixing to come back off. But there was a slight difference in the width. Whether or not that's because this is aftermarket or because the 6.4s are like that, I'm not sure. But we ended up having to put 2 washers on each side. That looks like 3 because of the reflection, but it's 2. Is that 3? What the heck? It's 2. That's so trippy. It is 2 washers on there. And that was allowing it to bolt up, because if you don't do that, you'll either have to bend this bracket or it's not gonna squeeze that much. It was off center. So you could tighten one, but then it's gonna be, shifted to one side. So after putting that 2 washers, top, bottom, on each side, it is pretty much dialed in, perfectly centered, side to side. And then, like I said, it fits in there pretty freaking good. Turns out I was wrong with the reasons why you need this new bracket, because the old and new grill both do clip in at the bottom and bolt in at the top. I had this upside down and it totally had me confused. But you are still gonna have to have this because the original only has 4 holes and the new one has 5. So we need to steal the brackets off of the original. I'm leaving that on there because it's torn up, and I think they make some cool color matched powder coated options. So we'll look into that. I was fully expecting this thing to fight me going on, but surprisingly it went right up into place. The kind of trick to getting it on is get this guy behind here because there's these lines. So tuck this side in behind, and then you can pull this side out a little bit and tuck it behind there. She's all bolted down. Got our clips over from the old one, and we should be ready to try the grill on. I haven't put our little clips on the bottom of the new grill, but we're just gonna line it up and see how she goes. Hopefully right into place. Not too much of a console. Well, she's on there. Now, I do have to remind myself that we're using multiple different aftermarket parts joining together. So fitment is probably not gonna be 100% perfect right off rip. Probably gonna be some finagling and stuff. But she's on there. Just gotta show you all this. Bend that some to get that to line up, which I'm sure should be fine. I just don't want any like stress joints because this is getting painted, and if there's a overabundance of stress on it, that will, I'm sure, lead to cracking and stuff. I'm still not sold on this grill. I don't think our factory emblem will fit back on there. It looks much larger, so I need to look into getting one of those as well. But I don't know. Y'all feeling it? Go a different route? We'll probably get it. I don't know. I don't want to pay to get it painted if I don't love it. I'll probably Google and look what my options are, because that bar style is a little bit bigger than I typically like. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be great airflow. Ooh, the camera hates it. But I'm unsure on that. I'm going to take it back off, start figuring out our bracket situation on the lower bumper, and then we'll go ahead and throw that on, and hopefully it fits, because that's like the #1 thing. Rear bumper went on pretty good. Let's hope for the front. Catch you back up with y'all the next day, because after what felt like an eternity figuring out all of our hardware, brackets, using some of the old, some of the new, modifying some things, getting it all put back on the truck, and quickly trying to align it before having to leave yesterday, she is on there. And I think it looks absolutely killer at first glance, because unfortunately we do have a couple of issues, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But let's go ahead and start by just doing a little walk around and trying to envision this thing color matched, all the same color, or potentially not all the same color, because we're going to talk about that in just a second, because we do have to figure out how we want the color scheme to go. But just use your imagination. Don't think of it all being black right now like we just started our job at Alabama Power. I am so torn on the grill, dude. I really like how this is looking, and how, if we can get it to fit proper. But the grill, I like it, but I also don't like being able to see straight through the radiator. I wish the bars were closer together like chompers, but then again, I understand, you know, you want a lot of airflow to your daggum diesel. I get it, okay? So let's go ahead, talk about the bad, and that is the fitment, which is not great. And I'm hoping that I can actually figure out how to get it dialed in good enough to where I can live with, because at the current state, I'm not getting this stuff painted because it's too far off. Now here on the passenger side, this is livable. It's not this isn't clipped in, it's just literally sitting on there. That's not clipped in. But like that flow right there, that circle, that is livable to me. Now, in order for this to be perfect on this bumper, this corner piece right here, we need to cut down. I can't remember the guy on TikTok, but he showed how he does it on all the cat eye trucks before he paints them, because if you peel this, like you pull this around and bolt it in, it's basically gonna cause a stress crack somewhere in the paint eventually. Versus if you cut this down and then bolt it into place, which it'll line up the same, it just doesn't have the stress on it. So we'll have to do that on here, and that will solve that issue, allow this to come back more, lining up better with this. We also have a little pad or whatever that was on the truck that I took off. I think when I did the headlights, I don't know why I took it off. Anyways, this side, livable. Not mad about that at all. Passenger side or driver side, different story. It's way freaking off. Way off. And as far as adjustability goes, I mean, you can go side to side, which maybe I do need to scoot it over this way some. You can go up and down a little bit, but you can't go back anymore. I mean, you could put washers on it to scoot it out farther from the truck, but I mean, the brackets kind of don't give you, I mean, it is what it is unless you start trying to bend stuff, which it could be a bracket issue, it could be the bumper issue, I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw this video up, because I'm sure somebody else has done this swap, probably a million people, and ran into this same issue. How did you fix it? What did you do? Did you bend the bumper? Did you bend the bracket? Did you just freaking, I mean, I see a lot of trucks on Instagram and stuff that have horrible fitment just like this. So I'm guessing a lot of people just slap it on here and run it. But if not, how'd you fix that? The other thing is that it sticks out pretty good, which I saw on the forum where I originally read about this however many years ago, back when I got this truck, so I guess it was last year. It sticks out some. So if that bothers you, that could definitely be a problem. I've always been on the fence when I was ordering stuff about getting fender flares on here, because I love the flares on a lot of different trucks. I love them on Larry, as you see right there. I love them on all the crew cabs. I don't think many of the trucks came like the 03, 04, which I don't know why I've been saying 05, 06, because it was 05 to 07 was 6 liters, 08 was 6.4 starting. Anyways, I went ahead and bought flares, OE style. They're gonna go on here, and we gotta figure out the color combo, which once again, we're gonna talk about in just a second, but hopefully those will fit on here nicely and look good like they do on Larry. And that will basically fix this sticking out issue. It'll be nice. And I don't know if it'll be flush. The fender flares might stick out more. That might be flush. Either way, it won't look like this is sticking out. As far as the grill goes, fits on there pretty good. Corners. There's a pretty decent gap here, which if you get down, it's weird because you can see like the underside of the hood. Probably stands out worse because it's black, this is white, and this isn't even bolted into place. So I'm sure I can raise it up some. Might have to do the old washer method, get it to come up some, which we can a decent amount on the corners to get it up before it will be touching. So that probably can be resolved with, just spending some good time adjusting it. But I think that looks really good right there. We just gotta get it freaking dialed in before we paint it. Basically the two color combos that I'm thinking about doing, and y'all drop me some feedback and let me know which route you think we should go. Because it's probably gonna be controversial one way or another. So the first idea would be basically tan everything except for the grill and the tow hooks. So obviously this is, two-tone truck. It's got the tan at the bottom. First idea is bumper and plastics, the whole bumper assembly, tan. Then do the fender flares, tan, which is how most of these trucks, most Fords and stuff do, just like Larry. Color of the two-tone on the flares. So tan, matching this on the bumper, flare, tan, connecting that. Don't know if it'll be a problem with getting the color match to be good without having a truck there, because the place I plan on taking it to is not close to me, and I don't want to drive the truck there without bumpers and everything, because obviously we're going to take these off to do it, and I don't want to leave the truck there either. There could be some issues, either color combo that we go with. But anyways, following the scheme, tan all the way. Tan front fender flare. Then go to here, top pad tan, metal bumper tan, lower piece tan, tow hooks white, grill white. Will it look good? I think so. I definitely think it would. This is a little bit taller than where that line is, so I don't know if that'd look weird. A lot of the trucks will have the tan fender flares and everything. Then this top cap will be body color, so it'll be like white, and then this would be tan. And it's always kind of thrown me off, like the flare doesn't connect to colors correctly. But that kind of leads me to the next option, which would definitely be more unique. I want it to be different than, just your average color match truck. So the other option would be metal part of the bumper, tan. So from here to here, tan. The plastics, white. So it'd be like probably a pretty like eye-catching contrast of colors instead of it just kind of flowing as one single tan. Be the tan corners, the white popping on the plastics. I think that would look good. And either still stick with tan flares or do them white. Will that look weird having the white go down to here and like that butting up to it? I don't think so. I think it would be a nice touch. Once again, could possibly be a hard thing to color match by not having the truck there. I got to talk to the body shop about that. So two-tone, white black, tan white bumper. White fender flares, tan fender flares. I'm not sure. It would make sense to do them white, because up front I was thinking of how a lot of the trucks came. White upper pad, white grill, tan metal bumper, tan down there, potentially white down there as well, white tow hooks. So it'd be connecting, the flare would be white going into white versus tan going into white. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. I think I just described it good. We're at 10 minutes of yapping though, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. If you got some feedback, please let me know. Suggestions on literally everything. I'm torn on what color combo I wanna go with. I think either one would look good. I think one, the multi, like the white and tan, I think that is definitely the more like popping, like eye-catching
different look. But I don't know if it's better. I don't know. Drop a comment, let me know. There's still a ton of other color matches that we got to do to complement that after we do all of this. But I got to figure out how to get this junk aligned before we go spend the money on paint. So anyways, drop a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, ring that bell notification, check out the links in the description, and I will see y'all boys in the next one.